The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome, everyone, to A Better View. I'm Laura Miller from RDC, and as promised, I have here with me Alex Zuck. Hello, Alex.
Hi, Laura. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. We're here to talk about what you and your team learned over the last year during what we call our active listening tour. Also, you're going to introduce us to RDC View. So let's begin with a quick background of that tour. The team spent 200 hours sitting with customers, either in person or on the phone, having some deep dive conversations about current challenges and future aspirations. And some trends were quite apparent. What were they?
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, from the big picture, from everyone we spoke to, is that we're all very focused on keeping bad actors out of our financial systems, of course. And yes, our focused conversations with customers brought up quite a few very clear trends.
Are most of these aligned in some way? Was there a theme?
Well, our amazing customers really want to know about the commonalities in their risks and see trends coming, all to better understand and proactively deal with risks. Our customers are amazing and gave us so many great insights. We could spend hours talking about them, but today we'll talk about just a few. We heard a lot about moving toward a consolidating compliance process under a center of excellence, driving all business lines to a global minimum standard, all of which requires the right tools, data, and insights to make that transformation effective. And we built View as a flexible data intelligence platform to bring all that together. We spent a ton of time working with customers to challenge some assumptions about their risk approach. Every time, we started to look for the deeper analysis that really mattered to justify some of our assumptions. And this is RDC View. It gives you the ability to review all relevant alerts in aggregate. This pie chart represents, then you can just slice into and understand the ingredients. Here we filter by reason codes. And we're able to really concentrate on the alerts that were really relevant to a decision-making process. So as our analysts are returning those alert codes, you'll see many of the different reasons why they were returning an alert. But what I like to do is really filter out and focus on just a couple. So as we filter again on reason codes, I'll focus on filtering out on really the alerts that were a definite alert, those that were probable, and those that we couldn't rule out.
So those can'ts look pretty high.
Yes, it's concerning that 73% of these alerts are in the can't group. But just by focusing on those, we see the common denominator. Using this graphic, we kind of start to understand data quality. And so here, as we look at country of origin on the inquiry submission, we notice that we see a little bit of data quality. Mostly, we see that almost 82% are submitted without a country. This is not allowing RDC analytics to apply geofiltering or allow our analysts to make decisions based on geographic preferences. Now, really what we understand from this graphic is that we understand where and how to improve organizational data quality, which in turn will lead to fewer false positives.
Okay, so you mentioned customers moving to or wanting to move to a center of excellence. Tell us about the specific challenges with that.
Of course, as you build a center of excellence, compliance executives are often committing to business lines a certain service level agreement.
So you need a view of the future?
Well, View does provide line of sight to your inquiry volume, and you can really look at some of those patterns in inquiry volume to understand what you're getting from the business and understand them in a flow. From there, it's kind of simple math. The number of inquiries go live, that number multiplied by your average alert rate percentage, and you know you'll need a certain amount of people. For this example, we see some clear evidence that December to January saw a steep increase in the amount of alerts that RDC needed to process, and to have this level of detail down to the month, to the week, to the day, and dynamic reporting, you can focus on the aspects really where you need to focus concerning spikes.
And I can see these details month to month or even week to week.
Yes, and that all allows you to better manage and allocate your team resources.
You mentioned earlier, we're all trying to find bad actors in our financial system. So that's often like finding needles in the haystack. Let's talk a little bit about what tactics help.
Yeah, first, I think it's all about having the data that tells the story. Then it's about asking the right questions. Let me show you how to get there. Another key feature of RDC View is the ability to change the visual graphic to tell a more compelling story.
So this is a look at real-time data?
Yeah, actually it's streaming. And this bar chart of alerted names, not really a dynamic representation of what's happening. And if we look at the same information in, let's say, a word cloud, you'll quickly see that we'll have a much clearer snapshot of which names are causing the most alerts. If the prominent names aren't of interest to your business, or you use that information to continue to do business with them, you're probably not getting the most alerts that you really need. I recommend that we use this type of information to really design a more efficient process that may make use of conditional whitelists, for example, and to help organizations relieve false positives. You can also drill down to any of these names to understand what firms or specific entities are sending these inquiry requests. So here, I'll just drill into the biggest name and try to look at what firms, or maybe a business line or geography, for example, we're sending the most of those names. And we see again, even through the word cloud, that becomes obvious of who is sending the most volume and having the same name over and over again.
So what about finding those needles in the haystacks?
Yeah, it's a good point. The granularity of our data often includes the type of information that you most want to see. That's really represented in what we call event codes. If you're able to see the risk types most often that are causing your alerts, you're able to judge whether those are the type of alerts that you want to be seeing going forward. Things like business crime or SEC violations, or for example, bribery. This helps you understand your risk and exposure by type and or geography. And you can monitor that to determine if these are the types you care about. If not, you can reconfigure or change elements of your screening process that you're only alerted on the types you do care about, and then monitor those results. This can help you get rid of the noise in your alerts.
So that's RDC View. Alex, this was great. Where else can we see View in action?
Well, for anyone who will be attending ACAMS in Hollywood, Florida, I'll be giving demos on location April 15th and 16th.
And regardless of your attendance at ACAMS, you can always email your contact at RDC or learn more by emailing me at lmiller@rdc.com. I'll get you in touch with somebody who can give you more details. Or I could get you on Alex's schedule at ACAMS.
Sounds great. Can't wait.
So thank you everyone for joining us today. Have a good afternoon.